Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the biochemical products in the plants and animal body. So we discuss about the introduction of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are broadly defined as polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones and their derivatives, or as substances that yield one of these compounds. Carbohydrates are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The three chemical components, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, molecules are in 1:2:1 ratio. Functional groups present includes hydroxyl groups. If the carbohydrates are end with the suffix word "ose" indicate sugar. Example is glucose, fructose, mannose, galactose. Like these are the examples for sugar molecules belongs to carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates are the most abundant organic molecules in the nature. They have a wide range of functions, including, see, these are the functions. First function is providing a significant fraction of energy in the diet of the most organisms. Means all living organisms gain energy. Which energy here it is? Instant energy, fraction of energy gained by the taking of diet as a carbohydrates, acting as a storage form of energy in the body, like glycogen. So storage carbohydrates present in the body in human beings like glycogen, serving as cell membrane components that mediate some form of intercellular communication. Carbohydrates are serves as a structural component of many organisms, including the cell walls of bacteria, the exoskeleton of many insects, and the fibrous cellulose of plants. So plants cell wall made with cellulose, bacteria cell walls, like in insects like cockroach, like exoskeletons are made with carbohydrates. The general formula of many carbohydrates, of many simpler carbohydrates, is CH2O all taken N. N indicates the number of C, number of H, number of O. Hence the name of hydrate of carbon. Carbohydrates are the most abundant of all the organic compounds in the nature. They are composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. They are in 1:2:1 ratio. The word carbohydrates mean hydrates of carbon, defined as polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis. So these are the aldehyde group present on the carbohydrate. CHO R indicates hydrocarbon chain. Ketones, C double bond O. Here also R indicates carbohydrate chain. Ketone groups are present. Aldehyde groups are also present in the formation of carbohydrates. Now we discuss here it is functions of carbohydrates. They are the most abundant dietary source of energy for all organisms. They give 4 calories of energy by utilizing of 1 gram of carbohydrates. Intermediates in the biosynthesis of other basic biochemical entities such as fats and proteins. The carbohydrates are associated with other entities such as glycosides, vitamins, and antibiotics. Form structural tissues in the plants and in microorganisms. That structural parts are developed by cellulose, lignin, murin. These are also belongs to carbohydrates. See, another important functions of carbohydrates. Here it is, the carbohydrates are the most abundant of all the organic compounds in the nature that are in plants energy form. The sun is used to convert carbohydrate, carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates like glucose. In plants, energy from the sun is used to convert carbon dioxide, water into the carbohydrate glucose. Many of the glucose molecules are made into long chain polymers such as starch, the starch that stored energy. About 65% of the food material in our diet consists of carbohydrates only. Each day we utilize the carbohydrates in food such as bread, pasta, potatoes, and rice. These food materials are containing large quantity of the carbohydrates, up to or more than 65% of the diet contains carbohydrates only. Other carbohydrates called disaccharides include sucrose. It is also called table sugar, and lactose. It is also called milk sugar. It present in the milk. During the digestion and cellular metabolism, carbohydrates are converted into glucose, which is oxidized further in our cells to provide our bodies with energy and to provide the cells with carbon atoms for building molecules of proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. In plants, a polymer of glucose called cellulose builds the structural framework. Cellulose has other important uses too. The wood is in our furniture, the pages in our notebook or your notebook, and the cotton in your clothings are made of cellulose only. And classification of carbohydrates. See, classification of carbohydrates based on the presence of sugar molecules on the structural forms. They are divided into basically two. One is sugar and polysaccharides. Sugars are sweet in taste. They are again divided into monosaccharides, disaccharides. Monosaccharides means that monosaccharides are single sugar units that includes glucose, fructose, galactose. Disaccharides means disaccharides are double sugar units that includes sucrose, maltose, lactose. These monosaccharides and disaccharides are sweet in taste. The polysaccharides not sweet in taste. They are again divided into types like storage and structural polysaccharides. So it is one type of classification about the carbohydrates. See another type of classification here also. Monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides. Mono means single molecule of sugar. Disaccharides means two sugar molecules linked with glycosidic bonds. Polysaccharides means many sugar molecules linked with many glycosidic bonds. So monosaccharides like glucose, fructose, galactose, they containing only single sugar molecule like this. Disaccharides, they containing two sugar molecules linked with glycosidic bond. Examples maltose, sucrose, lactose. Polysaccharides contains many sugar molecules linked with glycosidic bonds. Many glycosidic bonds like starch, glycogen, cellulose, and inulin. It is one type of general classification. And another classification also about the carbohydrates. Basically, the carbohydrates are three types. One is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are also called monoses or glycoses. Monosaccharides means they containing only single saccharide. Saccharides means sugar molecule. Mono means single sugar molecules in the formation of carbohydrate. Example, trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses. And another type is oligosaccharides. The oligosaccharides containing 2 to 10 sugar molecules. 2 to 10 sugar molecules called oligosaccharides. If two sugar molecules are present, called disaccharides. If three sugar molecules are present in that oligosaccharides, called trisaccharides. If four sugar molecules are present in the sugar carbohydrates, they call tetrasaccharides. Five sugar molecules are present is called pentasaccharides. Like up to 9 or 10 saccharides are present. If 10 saccharides are present in the formation of carbohydrates like oligosaccharides, they called decasaccharides. From these oligosaccharides, most important is disaccharides only. Like polysaccharides, it is the last one. Poly means many. Saccharides means sugar molecules. The many saccharides, also called polysaccharides, they are bind with glycosidic bonds, many glycosidic bonds. In oligosaccharides, 1 to 10 glycosidic bonds are present or 9 glycosidic bonds are present. In polysaccharides, more than 10 glycosidic bonds are present between the sugar molecules called polyglycosidic bonds. The polyglycosidic bonds present between sugar molecules, two sugar molecules in the formation of polysaccharides. The polysaccharides are also called glycons. Polysaccharides again divided into homopolysaccharides, heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides means polysaccharides are made with single type of saccharides, made with single type of sugar molecules like glucose. Glucose is polyglucose formed a long chain like structure called polysaccharides. Means in that polysaccharides only single type of or similar type of glucose molecules are present. Heteropolysaccharides means there are different types of sucrose molecules, different types of saccharides, glucose molecules, fructose molecules, they are present in the formation of polysaccharides. Means that saccharides, that polysaccharides made with different types of carbohydrates. That carbohydrates are in different type like fructose, glucose, galactose. Like these are present in the heteropolysaccharides. If only single glucose molecule, if single sugar molecule present in the formation of carbohydrates is called polysaccharides. It is a general classification about the carbohydrates.